Hello, colleagues, parents, administration, all educators. Today we will be talking about two very important literacy skills for young learners: phonemic and phonological awareness. Phonemic awareness is the ability to distinguish and control individual sounds, phonemes expressed in words. For example, in the word pet, the student should know that P is the first sound, A is the second letter sound, and T is the last letter sound in that word. Phonological awareness, on the other hand, is the ability to detect and manipulate the components of words that are spoken. Phoneme awareness and letter sound knowledge account for more of the variation in early reading and spelling success than general intelligence, overall maturity level, or listening comprehension. They provide the foundation for learning to write an alphabetic system. Children with a lack of phonemic awareness at the end of kindergarten are more likely to struggle as readers. Explicit teaching and sound identification, matching, segmentation, and blending, when linked effectively to sound symbol association, minimize the likelihood of reading failure and speeds up the learning of early reading and spelling skills for all children. To help students acquire understanding of phonemes and the symbols that represent them, teachers must be aware of speech sounds and how they differ from letters. There is mounting evidence that many individuals require explicit language training before they can display level of sound and spelling knowledge required to effectively teach it. Let's talk about examples that will help children with phonological and phonemic awareness. For print concept, an activity for printing concept will be to gather students in a small group and get a book on their level, of course. First, we will review the way we should read, which is from left to right. A way that we can remind students to read from left to right is to put a sticker on the left side of the desk or on the left side of the book to remind them that we always read from left to right. Another activity would be to write a sentence on a sentence strip and then cut it up and have the students to put them in order. And we always should, as educators, make sure that the child knows that a sentence always begins with a capital letter and the last word should have a punctuation mark at the end. For my exceptional learners, what I would do is keep their sentence strips together and just have them focus on pointing out to me the last word and the first word. That way, we will just start in the beginning levels for them. For letter naming, a letter naming activity would be say it, build it, and write it. First, I would print out all the letters, and then I would have the child build it. Build it with Play-Doh or connecting cubes, whatever you prefer as a teacher or as a parent, whatever you prefer. Then I will have them say it, recognize the letter, and then I will have them trace and or write it. For my exceptional learners, I will take and only focus on one letter. For example, the letter for the week for them would be the letter A. So I will have them recognize the letter A, then I'll have them build it every day, and then I'll have them trace it and also attempt to write it. So that way that they can only focus on one or two letters a day or a week. For vocabulary, I would create a graphic organizer where the child would write from the board the vocabulary word, and then they will write a written definition, which would be in their age-appropriate terms, and then they will draw a picture to represent it. But for my exceptional learners, I will already have the words written down for the student, and I will also just have them draw the picture with my assistance, of course. For phonological awareness, the activity would be a board racing game using word families. First, I or any educator will break up the class into 2 groups, and then I will put 2 categories on the board. For example, the AT family and the IT family, which is AT and ET. Then students will have to quickly write and say their words that ends in their category. And whatever team has the most word up under their category wins. For my exceptional learners, I will use picture cards, which falls up under those 2 categories, and the child would have to go run and place the pictures up under the 2 categories. And that way, they can see it and hear it as we do it. Now, for listening, an activity for listening would be Simon Says. Simon Says, put your hands on your shoulder, which is an example of a command. But when you say a non-Simon Says command, the child must not do it. For example, if you just say jump 3 times, the child must not do it. So this will see whether the child is listening and can follow directions fluently. Now, for speaking, the teacher can have conversation cards in a basket, and the teacher can shake it up, pull out a conversation card, read it off to the students, and have them have talk time with their partners. Then after that, they can do it again. But for our exceptional learners, they will have pictures. For example, I could say, let's talk about a beach ball. There'll be a picture on a card with a beach ball on it, and then I'll say, hey, let's talk about a beach ball. And then from there, they can start having their conversation on a beach ball, and I will be there to assist them. For comprehension, the teacher could read a book and have a beach ball with the 5 W's and how questions on it. And after reading the story, the teacher can throw the ball to a student, and whatever their thumb lands on or whatever question lands in front of them, that's the question that they may have to answer. And that's how I would incorporate comprehension in a small group activity or even a whole group activity. These are a couple examples of each part of our literacy skills with phonemic and phonological awareness. Thank you for listening. I hope this was a helpful video. Goodbye.